Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan, and today we have ourselves just shy of the 1,700 pound mark, a little 12 SRK Geo Pro. Like all Geos, you're talking all kinds of Azdel. It's standard off-road, standard low profile, air, solar equipped on this one. It's an interesting model. It has kind of convertible sofa sleeper interior with actually a pretty decent entertainment center considering the size of the camper, and all the kitchen stuff is outside. It is absolutely not going to be for everybody, but if you're like looking for more of a base camp, you want to get off grid, you got a really limited tow capacity, like this is, I mean, just absolutely ideal for a lot of Jeep camping. This is a fun little rig for you. And these little 12 Series Geo Pros, they always attract a lot of attention. We park them right on the porch here at Haylett RV, and people come in, and it's sort of like a VW Bug. People get inside it, they're like, I'm surprised how much room there is in there. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like a Rockwood signature with triple, quadruple slides and tons of space, but there's more than meets the eye, I think. And what is also great is Rockwood is nothing if not consistent. Like right over here, you see that entertainment center. So this is either a 110 or a 12 volt powered TV. So if you are going to be off grid, you can, use just battery power to power this thing without taxing the inverter. Because the moment you turn on the inverter, you immediately start really taxing your batteries. Basically, an inverter sucks extra juice out of a battery to power a higher power appliance, like normal TVs. But that being a 12 volt TV, and it has its own integrated DVD player, and you have a Bluetooth stereo sound system above that, and this RV has the Wi-Fi Ranger, so if you have access to, broadcast data sources, well, this has basically all the same stuff that a big Geo Pro, or frankly, even a bigger Rockwood Mini, Ultra, or Signature trailer would have when it comes to entertainment. Now, they are very good about, this model specifically gives us some nice wide open space right here. And sitting on the sofa the way that I am, like from a first person perspective right here, I've got long legs. I have to really kind of tap my toe out to hit that closet in front of me. And where, the door's over there, I can't touch it. Now, this door it's just a smaller version of a normal entry door. It has a deadbolt for security. You have a curtain there for privacy, but what's neat is that you can either use the whole thing as a screen door, or you might notice that the window in the entry door is full viewing and can slot open for airflow. Well, there's also a window right behind us, as you're going to see, so if you want some great cross breeze fresh air whipping through here, you can do that. Scooting over to the other side of the sofa, give you a little peek at the storage pocket up there. And as we come over here, this little corner, whether you're using it as like little pantry space, or if you're going to take some t-shirts and kind of roll them up sort of military style, like a burrito, and stuff them in there, there's a lot of things you can do with this little corner pocket. And anytime, the smaller the RV, the more important storage becomes. It really is kind of a funny thing like that. Now, this used to be optional, but they have since standardized the 13,500 BTU low profile air unit. And I like to stress low profile because when you add the air to these, or when you used to add the air to them, you didn't actually increase the overall exterior height because the AC is not the tallest thing on this. Actually, the TV Wi-Fi Ranger combo antenna that we're going to see, that is the tallest point on it. Now, over here, this is either a sofa kind of side stand or your kind of bedroom headboard, and that is where it's really nice to have, you see, the pop-up power tower. Now, that is inverter wired, so those household outlets, if you want to plug in a CPAP machine or like a fan or anything like that, all of the household outlets in this RV, of which there are several, I'll try to point them out as we go, you can run them off the battery, again, understanding that you are taxing your batteries a little harder. So if you're going to do a lot of off-grid household appliance use, you really should consider a second battery. Dual 6-volt batteries will get you further. And, anytime you're adding any level of solar or a generator to replenish those batteries, you're going to be happy with the peace of mind and the performance that you're going to get. Using that corner point over there as a reference, coming on down past that inverted ready power tower, we see another set of household outlets, which you can activate the inverter to use those if need be. Right over here, we have our propane furnace, and you got a full-size furnace, full-size air conditioner. If you want, you can either be breathing icicles or turn this thing into a sauna. Now, down here, we've actually got a full pass-through inside to outside storage compartment, And notice how even this is an all aluminum skeleton. That's what I call Rockwood doing Rockwood things. Anything that they build in-house, they've got an aluminum skeleton, and I would put Rockwood's build team up against pretty much anybody. Now on the bottom right, that is the button to activate our inverter. So it's really easy to use. You just push the button, then use your outlets. But remember, you're sucking your batteries a little bit drier, a little bit faster. This is our multi-detector right here to make sure we don't have any sort of like gas leaks. And that is your converter and fuse box. So basically at your house, like that, you know, if you popped a fuse or something, that's where you'd locate those. Furnace controls over here, and you can see what's kind of cool about this when you're traveling, if you need to, you can just go duffel bag crazy and just stuff this thing full. You do have a full blackout nightshade right there as well. And again, that is that opposing breeze window that corresponds to the window here in the entry door. So if you do want to get some good cross breeze or just some good light or whatever, you can use a screen door, you can use a window, you can use whatever. And when we're converting this into bed mode, it's actually what's called a gaucho. It's like kind of like a big giant drawer that you sort of end up sleeping in. Effectively, the whole thing just slides forward, and then you convert that rear back cushion on the sofa down into a sleeping pad. Now, what's kind of neat here, you don't have to use this in sofa mode, you don't have to use it in bed mode. If you prefer, you could always just leave it in one or the other. And if you do leave it in just bed mode, it does open up the opportunity to do some, more custom personalized sleeping, like mattress situations.
Now, flattering as this isn't, I wanted to give you folks an idea of like how much space is actually in here when it is time to bunk down. And keep in mind, I'm a 6'3" guy. Now, my head's all the way up to the headboard, but if you take a little bit of a look here, you notice that I can fit. Now, my feet are basically against the wall, so that's about how much space we have here. But the thing is, most of us, we don't sleep like tip to tail, stiff as a board. Most of us lay on our side and we curl up. And when we do that, when you curl your legs up, you suddenly gain a bunch of legroom, and now my feet are not kicking everything. So when you look at it, you're like, yeah, it's not like an 80-inch queen bed, but I don't think it needs to be. It's appropriately sized for the intentions of a small camper. Now, it would be tight in here for my wife and I, but that's because she really prefers her space away from me at night and prefers more like a king bed. So this is definitely not for everybody. But like if it was just me and like, or say like a single parent and one kid going out, using it as a base camp, exploring nature, I could make this work for sure.
So one of the cool things about these, they come with this little wheel on the front, and these things are not hard to move around, and they're short enough if you want to park them in a garage like a fox. And I don't know if you realize this, I got skinny little chicken arms. I'm not a big muscle bound dude, but when it comes to moving one of these things, you lean on it real quick, and then you just pretty much let inertia take over, and this is all it takes to roll one of these around. I'm not struggling, I'm not really working all that hard, and we are actually going downhill right now, and even so, with my chicken arms, I can still push this thing uphill a little bit. So even if your campsite's not dead on level, you're still going to be able to get this one exactly where you want it in that nice little shady sweet spot. So once you got it where you want it, she's got a lot of fun little features. First of all, for getting in and out, like if you got long legs like mine, you don't need to worry about it. But they give you this handy little step right down here, but you notice it sits so high off the ground. With that now standard, previously optional off-road package right there, you're not going to have like troubles getting in and out of there. Remember, that is a dead bolting door. There's a curtain behind that window, so it's not like someone's going to be creeping, peeking at you. GeoPro is and always has been and probably always will be a heavy user of Azdel composite ultralight paneling. If you're not familiar with Azdel, it's basically a Luan wood substitute, and pretty much everywhere the GeoPro is laminated, which in this RV is, your sidewalls, even your roof. Because this is the one GeoPro that kind of breaks even GeoPro rules. It effectively has a wall for a roof. Because it's so small, it doesn't need special different kind of structures. It'll hold itself just fine. So you actually basically have like an Azdel aluminum skeleton laminated roof on this thing, which is cool. Yet, even though we're still in their smallest camper segment, they're still giving us handy features like a power tongue jack and dual propane tanks with an auto changeover regulator, like a much bigger RV. When you start looking at single axle campers, usually you start looking at single propane tanks. That tends to be a thing where the number of axles tends to match the number of propane tanks in travel trailers, but not here. Now, in terms of towing simplicity and ease, she's only 5.5 foot wide. So it's extremely easy to see around this thing, whereas the 12RK, this one's sister, it's only about 5 foot wide. This is a little bit bigger in every regard than the 12SRK, and I think the flexibility on the sleeping inside is nice. The propane system on this one that the 12RK historically didn't have is always nice. You're still looking at a frameless window here, so if it is a rainy day and you need some airflow, that is like an egress window, and if you don't know what that means, basically it tilts open, so you know it's kind of like a built-in awning. And Rockwood's very good about magnet holdbacks on their baggage doors. And you see that little black nubbin right there? That is your magnet holdback for this thing. As we back up here, you see the simple side mount solar prep plug. But what's kind of cool is if you take a look up here, and I'll get on my toes because you can see it from ground level, you have a built-in factory solar package right here. Now this is one of the only Geo Pros that still is using a 100-watt roof solar package. Almost everything else from Rockwood has gone to 190 watts. The reason here is there's just not quite enough room for that bigger panel. So they still have the 100-watt flex panel, but considering this small of a camper, and there's only like 2 lights inside, there's very little to really tax the battery here. I still think that 100-watt panel is very sufficient. It makes sense to me. Now the TV antenna that looks kind of like a flying saucer sticking above the roof line there, you can see it in the silhouette of it through their Haled RV beams here. That right there is also your Wi-Fi Ranger antenna. They're kind of integrated right now. Now this has a rear kitchen, which is very normal. This, as compared to most Geo Pros, which kind of falls into that normal travel trailer market, this really falls into like something that goes against a lot of teardrop campers. Now, obviously it's not a teardrop camper. I think you could argue it's a little more functional in a lot of ways. So that's up to you to decide. I don't think there's anything wrong with teardrop campers. I do like what I get. I like the extra headroom I get in these Geo Pros. But just like a teardrop camper, it comes with, well, like some teardrop campers, like an enclosure, like a tent enclosure for your rear camp kitchen here. So you could go to your big box store or Amazon and get like a like an easy up to put over the back of those like most teardrops do. But with this one having a more traditional body shape and size, you have this massive full rear wall flip-up door, which is acting like head coverage, so you don't need the roof on the easy up, and they just enclose the sides. And then you can stake it down. We actually had Mr. Bill McFadden, I call him Wild Bill McFadden here at Haled RV, on the inside of that holding it in place, because you can't exactly stake something down through concrete now, can you? Now this is kind of cool. So if you take a look down here, your sink is going to be very dual purpose. It'll let you take a little bit of what I kind of call a cowboy shower. If I crack open our, I'd almost call it the vanity, like the medicine cabinet. This would be our normal sink fixture right here, but this is like almost like an air hose style quick release. So if you want to, you can give yourself like a little shower station, and this is just a simple little magnet that you can pop off there if need be. You can kind of move it around. You could move it over here. There's different points you could move it. Wherever you have the magnet points for the screen room is where you can mount this thing. But what's cool, you could also use this for just all kinds of campsite cleanup. Like there's always a use for an outside shower in a camper, so having that ability to function over here like that is super, super handy. Down below here, this is where you're gonna find like all your tank monitors and stuff like that. You can activate your water heater from here. These are GFI protected and they are still inverter run. Every household outlet in this is inverter run, remember. Down inside, they didn't have a lot of space for a lot of drawers. You can't really put drawers in here because of the kitchen plumbing. So they gave you like a little utensil organizer. Now the funny thing is, you gotta kind of figure a way you're gonna put it in and out of here. I don't know if maybe you'd try to store it somewhere else or inside, but when it is kind of picnic time, it is nice that you can have all your utensils in one spot here, or kind of like I did there, if you're careful, you can sort of just slide it in and out. When it's barley pop o'clock, you got yourself a nice little spot right here. Over here, we have ourselves our nice little cooktop. So if you are going to be cooking outside, you have a great space for it, but this is not the only way you're going to be cooking out here. Also, when it does come to cooking, or if it comes to the zombie apocalypse squad, you've got this big giant Forest River killer spatula job here with its own barley popinator. So if you need to kill zombies on the go while having a refreshing Coors Light, you got the perfect little utility there for it. Our solar charge control system over here If you know, when you want to activate that, deactivate that, check how much powers on your batteries are coming in or something like that. You have all that right there. Now, the microwave will not work off the inverter. It's just a little too high of a power draw appliance. One thing I do want to point out, though, you do have actual outside speaker here in your neat little camp kitchen as well. And the outside refrigerator, they went with like the bigger one that you would find in like a bigger camp kitchen of like a more traditional Rockwood signature or something like that. So you've got some pretty decent cold storage over here. Now, I mentioned that little cooktop was not the only place where you could do some cooking over here. If I back up a little bit, you see that brown box staring at us. I've only done just a quick setup on this, but this thing does have its own little griddle cooker. So there is a gas grill quick connect. Originally, this brand used to use those free-floating Coleman camp grills, and they've gone more to this griddle system, and I think a lot of people appreciate it. So it also includes this handy little side table, which I know a lot of people are going to like. So you actually have a place to put your platter as you're serving up bacon, eggs. You can sear a steak on those things pretty well, actually, nicely, too. So it's a different kind of thing. I don't know if it's going to work for everybody. Actually, I know it's not going to work for everybody. Otherwise, why would we carry all the other hundreds of RVs we have at Haylett RV? But if you're looking to get that off-grid Jeep towing, SUV, minivan towing capability, this is a neat little kind of left-to-center option for you. So thank you for tuning in. If you appreciate the information you get here today, make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow along because we have a lot more coming. And short of that, remember, if you like the videos, we do need to earn your business to keep the videos coming. So all we ask in return for our efforts here today is the fair opportunity to earn your business. And it doesn't matter if you're close, doesn't matter if you live far away. You give us a chance and usually we make things happen. We're a big dealer in a small town. And I think sometimes doing little things like not having hidden dealer fees brings a lot of folks here because we try to operate with a lot of confidence, transparency, simplicity. Because it's supposed to just be about fun, you know? So if that sounds good, give us a call here. We look forward to meeting you. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy Haylett camping, everyone.